waking up like old Father Time. Only one radio show could make this horrible noise in the background while I'm talking to you. Only one radio station could bring you the fine music I'm programming now. I can't name that radio station. WMUH Allentown 91.7 FM from the campus of Muhlenberg College. Stay tuned throughout the new year and, well, naturally, forever. Every Wednesday night, the Mr. Mark Show comes on from 8 p.m. to 11. Stay tuned. I'm just telling you. WMUH Allentown. It's the Mr. Mark Show starting up right now. The last song you heard was David Bowie, and you wouldn't believe it, but this song is David Bowie, too. Words of advice for you aging newlyweds who want to spice up your marriage. Next time you are obligated to perform the act, tranquilize yourself first with Zen yoga meditation techniques. Focus your attention away from the unpleasant experience. You now believe that you are a sacred Japanese kite riding the east wind of purity. Fact is, you are really a sacred palace mongoose molested by a snake. If your marriage needs help, get a medicine chest with a mirror on it, look into it hard, and blame yourself. Only a licensed doctor, clergyman, trusted friend, or family member can help you now. Talk it over with yourself or someone else, and remember, love is like a giant deep-sea octopus. Some call it a monster. To others, it's a soft-shelled, spineless, lonely hunter of the night. I say we've got to break away and do the fog warning. As required by natural law, the fog warning is just a 30-second emergency test to make sure we know what to do in the unlikely event that fog should set in. What you're hearing now is an inaudible sub-frequency, so low-pitched, it carries all the way out from the Lehigh Lighthouse on 4th Street to the radio tower on the tip of Mount Kilimanjaro in Kenya. Take this advice from the SWAT team. If the road becomes foggy, go limp and roll out of your car. Now bounce across a series of soft shrubbery and land, fortunately, in the back seat of a moving convertible going the other way. On icy roads, try deflating your tires and hitchhiking. The safety officer has had it up to here with your self-destructive habits. You're under arrest in the jailhouse of conscience, stronger than any prison. Remember, any time the fog warning drill is carried out, you should drop to the floor wherever you are and bark like a seal. If you do, you can win a special Mr. Mark lick-on decal of the free world flag, the flag of all nations, featuring the symbol of an earth being knocked through a series of croquet hoops by a giant mallet. Lincoln's birthday is in several weeks, so we're bringing you this Civil War bit. Way down south, there was an actress who passed the audition and got the part to play Scarlett in the MGM production of Gone with the Wind. But the northern actresses were envious, so they attacked the unsuspecting Belle with cannon, grape shot, and just to be on the safe side, modern laser-guided rockets. And those rockets came apart in midair, so Scarlett was saved. And big kids already know the real reason we fought the Civil War was because alien overminds wanted to, as an experiment in human behavior. Alien beings control the stock exchange, global weather, science fiction book club choices, and your own mind. The aliens have provided this forecast. 1996 will be okay. 1997 will begin to slip. 1998 will be disastrous. 1999 and 2000 even worse. Finally, the year 2001, and the aliens appear worldwide with their big offer. All the solutions to our problems on a floppy disk for $129.95. The big punchline is, none of us on Earth will have the money by then. Why not get started early and open an alien savings account now? Interest rates are competitive, and the aliens will be able to use your money immediately. They'll remember the favor later when gasoline is used for money. In a post-apocalyptic world of motorcycles and mayhem, hierophants and buttless pants. Just call your bank. Minimum deposit required. If you won't give your money to the aliens, we are ready for that. Give your money to the spirit world instead. Ghosts, upon receiving your bribe, will be delighted and respond with good fortune in all your affairs. If you miss a payment, they come and scare you. It's not that bad. It's the Mr. Mark Show. In the background, a soundtrack album. Guess what movie it's from? Several tracks now are from Roger Corman's Caged Heat 3000. And we'll get into more of that later. Before that, Penn Jillette doing a vocal with a group called The Captain Howdy. Name of the CD, Tattoo of Blood. The Captain Howdy. Penn Jillette and Kramer, for the most part. Stay tuned for something new from Cocteau Twins and plenty more fun stuff on that Mr. Mark type show. Time for a live ID first, though. WMUH, Allentown, 91.7 FM. A radio station that really isn't all that bad. It's not like people say. You're handcuffed to someone you hate. But whoa, don't get the wrong idea. You're only criminals running from a pack of bloodhounds through bayou country. What to do? Well, we asked the big city hall computer under the courthouse, and the computer said, start with unscented deodorant to throw off the dogs, then get a good job and re-enter society as a well-paid jet setter and save your money, and buy a hacksaw and saw through the cuffs. If you're tied to a chair, the process is somewhat different. Use your ESP to summon the ghost of your dead partner to rub raw meat on the ropes and wait for the rats to gnaw them through. Then go and kill the drug lord who did this to you. If your attacker was a terrorist rather than a drug lord, the process is somewhat different. Jump from a galloping horse to the roof of a moving train full of enemy robots. Tricky problem, as the robots are all set to explode in the event that the side of good should begin to win. You'll have to join the bad guys before conquering them. This fools the automatic brain into harmlessly launching those exploding robots over the polar ice cap. It'll be years before the heat melts the ice and rising sea levels flood the continents of the world. Meanwhile, party on. In the background, King Crimson, Large Tongues and Asterisk from the live Baboom double CD set. Before that, Morella's Forest with Hang Out from the new CD Super Deluxe, which is all new stuff. A little bit of Exene before that, Reading Poetry. That's from a spoken word CD called Home Alive. Compilation spoken word CD. And at the top of the set, Lush, Last Night. The Latent Power Mix from the new mini CD called Last Night. It's the Mr. Mark Show, as you know. Welcome to Science Fiction Theater. In tonight's episode, we're going to the moon in a garbage scow. Since the Earth got filled up with garbage, the future way is to tow the world's garbage up to the moon and dump it there. Tabloid reporters wishing to go through your trash will now have to wear astronaut suits and fly on up to the lunar surface. They'll get the dirt on you and fly back home again to ruin you. What did the tabloid reporters of the future find in your 21st century garbage? A 21st century garbage man who dumped out bags containing empty baby oil bottles, home pregnancy tests, condoms, adult newspapers, explicit boudoir photographs, banana peels, color Xeroxes of your butt, and your secret diary. It all appears on Gossip TV, and what can you do? You hire an experienced attorney to sue the tabloids. Since the earth is filled up with lawsuits, the future way is to hold all the world's court proceedings on Mars, which is how things work now. To sharpen a pencil, first get a pencil and break the point. Now stick the broken end into a pencil sharpener and turn the crank. Like magic, gears will grind up the wood and whittle it down to a sharp point. Monkeys looking over your shoulder believe it's magic. But you, the moon creature, you know better. And so you scoff at the chimps who hit you on the head with a leg bone and throw it up in the air. When you call Lens for Less, you get quality contact lenses fast, as well as glass eyes for punks, or prescription eyeglasses molded to your face before the plastic cools. Call for radiokerotomy or glaucoma test, color Xeroxes for adults only, and the soda machine. The Mr. Mark Show contains a special code that quiz kids can break. Then they can understand the dirty messages. Stay tuned. In the background, a group called LFO. Tantara, the name of the track. Before that, Waterfall was by the group Left Brain. Before that, Surrender Yourself by The Dow. And King Crimson at the top of the set, Asbury Park, from the live album USA. King Crimson, their patriotic album. Stay tuned to the Mr. Mark Show. I'm Mr. Mark. WMUH Allentown. In the Oligocene era, more than 113 years ago, a huge hornless rhinoceros browsed among the treetops, its head fully 18 feet above the ground. Far bigger and heavier than any mammoth, it weighed 20 tons and ruled its primordial world through sheer size. Today, brains rules the world. A world of steel and glass, of insane machinery gone haywire in a circus of fear. The point is, don't smoke. Or you could end up like the hornless rhino, extinct for over a quarter of a century. To get the facts on how to quit, call a university hospital and volunteer for the medical experiments. Don't worry, they're pretty safe. You'll receive the cutting edge in addiction therapy. If you have other bad habits, bedwetting, habitual use of coffee or other drugs, just tell the doctors. They'll wipe you clean like a blackboard. Call the Hospital of Our Lady of Medical Screw-Ups. In the Pleistocene era, over 57 years ago, a shaggy ape-like man crosses over the wasteland. He is the first Pennsylvania settler. Heavy jaw, small reptilian brain, slouching posture, low-slung belly. Archaeologists are unhappy, maladjusted people who dig up the remains of ancient cultures. They know the Pennsylvania cave people love to hunt and deep fry, as well as build the huge manure pyramids we all know about. The governor says, no matter what you think about the roadways, next vacation, forget about Paris and Cancun. Discover Pennsylvania, the Quaker state. Quakers being different and distinct from both Shakers and snake handlers. Discover Pennsylvania. And one more time, we remind you, don't complain about the roadways. The governor really appreciates it. In the background, Brian Eno, you know? From his album Nerve Net. Before that, you heard, what the hell did they hear anyway? Oh, yeah, Robert Fripp and the League of Crafty Guitarists, the track called Asturias, from the Show of Hands CD. That's the guitar playing, obviously. Robert Hairman, Shadow of the Blue Hotel, from the Resident Alien album. And Mad Went the Barber was by the Maboozes, from the album simply called The Maboozes. You stay tuned, you boozes. When under stress, don't shout at your radio. Change the station. Hello, gang. I'm Mr. Mark. I'm your host. We have this here twilight zone of fine radio, and I come out and I explain the paintings. No, that would make it more like the night gallery. I'm your mixed metaphor disc jockey tonight. Hello and good evening to you. This is Allentown, so you're the working class, saddled with a guilty conscience, snapping after the fishhook of wealth in a sea of competition, lured by the mermaid of sex music in a hurricane of FM enjoyment. Here comes tonight's bedtime story, calculated to make you nod off on the highway and wake up on the ledge of a skyscraper above a jeering crowd encouraging you to jump by playing these suicide rock lyrics. You hear these lyrics and you lose your will to live. Those suicide rock lyrics will drive your relatives to commit the ultimate act, either murdering you in cold blood or else doing something objectionable like shoplifting. Once upon a time, there was a corner store rigged by cops to catch any shoplifter. Like any store, this one was staffed by a couple of friendly robots built to look just like Wild West gunslingers. Outside a cigar store, Indian trips the X-ray beam and sets off the security signal. That's when you walk in looking to buy the world's largest wad of chewing gum so you can blow an anti-gravity giant bubble and float over the scenic sewage treatment plant to prove a point about willpower. No go. Those robot gunslingers blasted away as the air filled with hot lead. The cigar store Indian returned fire. You're pasted with bullets, but you don't die because all along, as it turns out, you were really only the golem, fabled monster made of solid rock who doesn't have to pay for groceries. This concrete con man just stomps around stealing what he wants, stuffing his stone pockets with purloined merchandise. What a creep. I hope he chokes. Stay tuned to the Mr. Mark Show for another admonishment about your faults and weaknesses. I gotta play a CD. Here it comes. Oh, I'm playing one now. I forgot. Killing joke. Let's listen to it. Hello, health nuts. We have to do the liver spot. Liver is delicious and contains iron, magnesium, cobalt, asbestos, and kids love it special with fried onions and lima beans. They love it more than macaroni and aspirin. So here comes the liver farmer. The government is paying him not to grow liver. Soon we'll have to resort to using substandard livers from alcoholic cows. Of course, this turns your whole family into boozers. Learn to recognize good quality liver in the supermarket. The color should be red, brown, or pink, not purple, gray, or blue. If the color is orange, white, or green, you are looking at squash, cream cheese, or giant squid. College students will do your shopping for you because you just can't handle it. Experienced, overconfident college students will organize your coupons, seek out the bargains, and carry your packages home for you and just sort of hang out. Finally, you take the hint and make them dinner. Call 1-900-EASY-CON. Let's see. The Holy Evangelical Church of the Far Right reminds you, best way to reduce crime is to cancel all the jobs programs, lay off the country, and transport poor people to the moon. On the lunar surface, they'll be given free air and water at taxpayers' expense. This preposterous solution is called capitalism. Proper thing to do is to transport them to the moon, then leave them to their own resources. Now they're doing more for themselves, and it's a democracy. Naturally, right-wing, left-wing, doesn't mean a thing anymore, since they've begun using a machine to control public opinion. This is a simple brainwave oscillator that swings automatically from liberal to conservative every 5 seconds. In this way, you are expected to go insane. If you are already insane, stands to reason it'll make you normal. Hello, radio lovers. Here comes an unbearable parable for the modern age. Once upon a time, a mysterious traveler from beyond time and space came to Earth with his zappin' ray gun. Local boneheads were afraid, but military satellites proved his ray pistol had only 2 settings in the nonviolent way of the future: peace and love. Whenever he pressed love, all the people began to feel amorous and sexy, and soon forgot all about him. Whenever he pressed peace, they fell asleep. And the mysterious traveler became so bored, he fell into an alien dream, in which a runty, scrawny kid with no brains drinks a glass of wholesome milk. Now he grows a foot taller, his shirt busts open, muscular chest. One more swallow, now he's the Hulk. So muscle-bound, he's sterile. Your dairy industry reminds you, drink lots of milk, an inhuman quantity, but don't drink, of all things, the milk of a cow. Doctors agree cow's milk is not the natural food for the human body. Phase out cow's milk in favor of healthy, low-fat milks from around the world. The Arctic ox, humpback whale, longhorned zebu, and the Hawaiian coconut. If you can't stand milk, eat apples instead. If you can't stand apples, run around the block. If you're not health conscious, then go down and live in a coal mine. This message from the government. We're watching you. Now listen up good. As part of the new educational system, we're going to teach you how to read a map. Maybe some of you think you already know how to read a map. Maybe your brain is so huge, the Martians are studying you. Step 1, unfold the map while you are driving. Now, The view out the windshield is blocked, and you veer instantly out of control and steer off an overpass. Sailing through the air, your car lands safely on top of a moving police van. Then just behind you, a sheriff's car makes the same mistake you did and lands on top of you. The Martian says he's tired of observing us. We give him a headache. You're listening to music of a sort from a group called Lutefisk. It's one word, Lutefisk. You're listening to a track called Ravage and Rotate from that group.
She seems to be approaching a near paranoid state. I'm afraid we've encountered a complication.
Right around this time of year, dweebs and losers alike have trouble when their house freezes solid. Faucets don't work, pipes frozen stuck, lights don't work because it's so cold the electricity freezes solid right in the wires. Go to bed, pull up the covers, and sleep for 5 months. Your heartbeat will slow down to 1 beat per hour. Your body temperature will drop to 60 degrees. While you hibernate, wackos will take over the country and fix our many problems with radical extremism. When you thaw out and wake up, everything is gone and the crust of the earth smoldering with lava. The moon has been blown to pieces. It was all due to you, the imaginary citizen who snoozes while the nation burns. Look in the mirror, and if you see nothing there, doctors have a name for your condition. Delusional vampiric hysteria. That's when psychosexual fantasies from Hollywood violence movies produce strange sociopathic behavior. This is not the same as the walking cowboy skeleton fantasy, where a life-size skeleton wearing a cowboy hat follows you around, making kissing noises. He is looking for his mate, an Indian squaw who doesn't reflect in the mirror either because she is too short. You can send away for the Mr. Mark instruction manual that explains the things you hear when you tune in. Not a chance of finding it in stores. The Mr. Mark manual is available at an individual price just for you, depending on how much the chemicals in your body are worth at current market prices. This time of year, dweebs and losers alike have trouble when their body freezes solid. Faucets don't work with the pipes frozen stuck. Brains don't work with the thoughts frozen solid in the wrinkles. To warm your brain, the fire department says, wear a hat. Don't set a fire and stick your head next to it. This message from the fire department. It's the Mr. Mark Show. I'm Mr. Mark. You heard Shonen Knife with Ice Cream City, a live version from their new one, Birds and B-Sides. Before that, something kind of industrious, Decrupts, also new. From Odyssey of the Mind, you heard The Final Option. And in the background right now, Alien Factor. Clip the Wings, and that's from a compilation. A Decibel Records compilation called Complications. Alien Factor, let's listen. Some people think that giant squids live at the bottom of the sea. And here, the state-of-the-art college computer rears up to its full 12-foot height and laughs boomingly. Pressure at the bottom of the sea is much too great for most soft-bodied ocean monsters. Instead, you find smaller creatures like the anglerfish, deep-sea brachiopods, and the glowing ghostfish lighting up the pitch blackness with its strange glowing skin. Ghostfish are so called because they are all dead, having electrocuted themselves in the seawater. You get turd worms, you get the hard-shell crabs, you get giant clams, which you pry open. Almost always there is somebody inside, and when they swim out, they owe you their lives, if you know what I mean. Don't hang around that giant clam too long, though. They don't like to stay empty much if they don't have to. The upshot of all this is the Allentown Aquarium has closed down and merged with the Easton Aquarium to form the Bethlehem parking garage. And the sea creatures just have to go at deep, deep discount prices. Mermaids and also mermen, beefy bearded guys who are no worse looking really than the guys you've been dating anyway. Codfish, salmon, we are trusting that you will adopt these beautiful animals as pets and not consume them as food. Haddock, rock lobster, bay shrimp. Fill your station wagon with salt water and drive on over for fish and related items such as mercury. If you're a policeman, drive on over for fresh orders from the chief. We're glad to serve as a communications link for the department since those police radios were stolen. Attention all officers, both the ones on bicycles as well as the foot patrol. You are going to have to move faster if we ever expect to catch the guys who stole all...